Good evening and welcome to another episode of Indie Life Adventures. We are coming to you live from Osaka, Japan, but we're not going to talk about Osaka yet. We just wanted you to enjoy the ambiance while we talk to you about, I don't even remember the name of that town we were in. I mean, it was still Tokyo. Akihabara? Is that what it was?
Akihabara?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about our day 6 recap, and we stayed in a capsule hotel, kind of a capsule hotel. It was called Cocts, C-O-C-T-S, Cocts,
Yeah.
Akihabara Hostel. And so that was an interesting experience. So, but before we get to talking about the hostel, we checked out of the Sunroute Plaza Hotel and wanted to do a little bit of sightseeing, but we still had several hours before we could check into the capsule hotel.
Right.
So we did something we had never done before, and do you know what I'm leading up to? We didn't prep for this one.
What did we never do before?
Well, we had like 4 hours and we didn't want to tote our backpacks. We used the lockers at the...
I'm like, what did we ever never
This will be fun.
before?
This will be me like throwing out clues to see.
You should have did some charades or something.
Well, when we were riding the subway, we noticed they have all these storage lockers. And we were in Shinjuku, and there were still some things we wanted to see before we headed to Akihabara. And so we went to Shinjuku Station, and for 800 yen, we're able to secure our bags while we went sightseeing.
That's right.
So yeah, so we left the hotel, checked out, and saw a little breakfast spot we wanted to try, but we're like, let's go drop our bags first. So we dropped our bags and then came back to the breakfast spot. So, which the breakfast spot had a little bit of a surprise that I was not anticipating. We didn't talk about this either. Do you know the surprise?
Yeah, I know the surprise.
Oh, go ahead then.
It was a smoking
A
establishment.
smoking establishment. I didn't know.
What was the name of the place? Do you remember?
Oh gosh, it was an Italian name.
Was it
Salvatore?
Siegfried? Siegfried's, maybe?
That doesn't sound Italian.
It doesn't sound Italian because I don't think it was Italian.
Oh, I thought it was Italian.
I'm pretty
Anyway.
sure. I think it was Siegfried's. Anyway, it's a famous coffee place that's apparently all around Europe. Now, I don't know if it's smoking. Maybe it's a famous smoking place.
This is
I
the
don't know.
first establishment we've been in that was smoking.
Yeah, it
Like
reminded
even
me of the
bars
bingo
we've been
hall.
in haven't been smoking. And so, yeah, I did not know. And so when we walked in to get our lattes and we ordered paninis, and the gentleman's like, this is a smoking establishment, or, just to let us know. And we're like, oh, that's fine. And I don't think you were much bothered by it. But I was like, holy cow, I felt bad for the people who worked there. They're going to die of lung cancer. It was a smoking establishment. And this was like first thing in the morning. And and I didn't even notice, but Nick said he noticed there were people having beer. It was like a coffee shop and a bar, I guess.
I think, it had a few
But it was a
people-
Monday morning and people were
It looked like there may have been...
puffing it up. It was so... they're going to die of
What
lung
we
cancer.
say? They had a case of the Mondays, right?
Yeah.
It was it's a case of the Mondays.
The panini was fabulous.
Yes, even with the smoke flavor.
Oh, and the lattes were so good.
Even with the smoke flavor.
But I was eager to exit the building and breathe some fresh air.
I just felt bad because I'm like trying to pat myself off, get the smoke off of me as I'm walking down.
Oh.
I think I smelt it for the rest, about at least half the day. But
Yeah. So we'll have to pay attention. But
it just reminds me of the good old days, when we could kill ourselves in bars and, smoke in our houses.
Wow.
I don't remember if you remember those days, but smoking in our houses.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Man, times have certainly changed.
Yep.
Because it's so strange to go into an establishment that's full of smoke.
Right. Our kids will never understand it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, anywho, That was breakfast.
Yes.
And it was really good.
It was good. It was, what would I say? It was very nostalgic.
Yeah, and I don't even know if what I ordered was really breakfast. I got a panini that was shrimp and avocado.
I got like a bacon, cheese, ham breakfast.
But that shrimp avocado panini, the bread was just amazing. Like so good. So yeah.
It hadn't sucked up the nicotine yet.
But after that, we were on a quest because I had...
Wait, I gotta go back.
Oh, we're going back.
So it's funny because we go in the restaurant and we're gonna order our coffee and they say, hey, it's a smoke establishment. And they're like, oh yeah, it's great. I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. Whatever, right? But so we go sit down and then Dory's like, I'm gonna go look outside. I'm like,
I'm going to see if there was an outdoor
why?
table.
I'm like, why do you want to go sit outside? She's like, oh, well, I just want to go see if there's outside seating. I'm like, you just told the guy you didn't care if they were smoking, and now you're like worried about the smoke. And
I didn't want to be rude. I felt we've already committed.
right, as you're like looking for a seat outside.
But we sat inside.
Well, we did because there was no tables outside, right? Exactly.
But the food and coffee were really
No, I just
good.
had to bring that up because that was one of those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, another seeing if Nick can read my mind. So we were on a quest. Do you remember we were on
a quest?
after we left for breakfast? Where were we going?
Oh, we were going to the government building.
Yes, because I had heard, I'd listened to a podcast, because there's all these different places you can pay to get the view of the city, whether it's Shibuya Sky or Skytree, or what's the one that's shaped like the Eiffel Tower?
Tokyo Tower?
Tokyo Tower. Can you even go up Tokyo Tower?
I'm pretty sure.
Probably. And so, but in this podcast, they're like, you don't have to pay to go see the city. The government, the Tokyo Municipal Building, it is absolutely free to go to their observation tower.
And it has an observatory.
Yes, 2 observatories actually, because there's 2 towers. And so either tower you can go up to, was it the 200th floor or something like that?
No, it was like 42nd floor, I think.
Oh, it was the 42nd.
Or 45th. So the 45th floor. You had to go down to the 44th floor to use the bathroom.
But I thought there was something with 200 was significant. Anyway, I don't
200
know.
feet? 200?
Maybe 200 feet.
200 feet? 200 feet maybe?
Maybe. We'll look it up.
200. We'll just say that.
But it was so easy to get to. All the signs clearly marked the path. You walked into the government building. They had, it's clear as day. Easy, breezy. Got all the way up to the observation tower and were able to just see the whole city. And we had flown in at night and didn't have a window seat, so we hadn't seen the whole city from up high yet.
Right, and it's been pretty cloudy.
Oh, it has. It's been very cloudy because we were right next to not Shibuya Sky. What was the one?
Was it Tokyo?
Skytree.
Skytree.
Yeah, we were really close to Skytree whenever we were at
Asakusa.
But it was so cloudy that there would have been no point in going up tall to see it because you would have had no view.
You would have been in the clouds.
You would have been above the clouds.
Yeah.
But this particular day, yesterday, was gorgeous. And so we went up there. Unfortunately, there was still cloud cover where we could not see Mount Fuji because they said on super clear days you can see Mount Fuji. You couldn't see it yesterday. But, there are buildings as far as the eye could see. You don't see the end of the city. It's massive. Absolutely massive. And another cool thing about the observatory, they had, there was this, like a line to line up for a piano, and this piano had been donated, and people who were just visiting could line up and play the piano. And so while we were there looking at all the windows, different people would come to the piano and play. And there was this kid who played amazing, a woman who played, an older gentleman who played. And it was so pleasant just to observe people express their talent. Like that was really, I thought, a very nice touch.
Yeah, definitely.
And they had a coffee shop up there and a gift shop and just windows in every direction. Anything to add?
It was a nice view.
It was beautiful.
Unfortunately, like she said, we were not able to see Mount Fuji, so that part was a disappointment. But
we'll see it.
But the trip up the tower was not a disappointment. It was fine.
It was fine. Yeah. It was so simple,
and
you
it was
could
great
stay
just
as
to
long
see.
as you wanted. And then it was very.
It was great to see the view from basically almost 360 degrees just from one tower. There was just one part that kind of was blocked off, but it wasn't very much.
Yeah.
And then you could go to the other side and start right back up where you left off and see the rest of the city. So it was nice. And it was sunny and
I was amazed at the park. There was it felt like a national forest right smack dab in the middle of the city, not far away at all. And that ended up being, did you say it's where the Meiji Shrine was?
Yeah, the Meiji Shrine is over there. And it's right between Shibuya and Shinjuku, right? It's kind of like in between those two places.
Which is funny because we went to both of those cities, but we never went to that park.
Yeah, and it was actually on our list of things to do. We just kind of got sidetracked. So
because we've seen so many shrines, and we figure while we're in Osaka and Kyoto, we're going to see even more shrines.
There are more shrines to see. So,
but I wonder now if there were hiking trails and stuff through those. I mean, that was a massive forest. So, yeah, pretty cool. And we still have one day in Tokyo before we leave Japan. So we'll see if that might be something we do. Because I've been craving some nature because it's city. So, but yeah, it was really amazing just to see it from that height.
Right.
And then after we left and came back down out of the municipal building, I think we went to another coffee shop. A non-smoking coffee shop.
Where were we at?
We were...
Oh, yeah.
We tried
went
Detour.
to Detour, yeah.
Detour. It's a coffee chain here. And so we went to Detour.
It was pretty crowded, too.
It was very crowded,
Now, mind you, we had got up a little bit later than we normally had, so the date
because he had kept us out late till past midnight.
Yeah, but I wanted to make sure we got plenty of sleep, so we decided we didn't... Well, and then we had to pack our bags, and then we had...
To check out.
And all
then go
that.
secure the luggage
Secure our luggage. Then we headed over. So I think, man, it was around 1 o'clock. We had coffee for the second time.
Yeah.
It felt like breakfast coffee, but with all of that going on, I think we ended up having a late coffee.
Because we just got out of our rhythm because we had stayed up so late. Because we had been on a roll of getting up really early. And so I think this now signifies that we're synced with Japanese time.
I think so, because it's 10 o'clock now.
Yeah, it's 10 p.m. And remember, it wasn't but a few days ago we couldn't even stay up. We're struggling to stay up till
8.
Yeah, till 8
o'clock. At 6 o'clock, we were already ready to go to bed.
So I think we're adjusted now. But yeah, so Tokyo Metropolitan Building. Oh, after that's when we went on the quest to purchase the microphones. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
We went there. We tried a couple different electronic shops, and there was a gentleman who was so helpful, and he's the one who steered us to get the Digi microphone, and then he upsold us, but I think it was a good upsell.
DJI, I think is what it is, but I don't know.
It's not called.
I don't know, maybe.
Because it comes with 2 of these blocks right here, like Nick is modeling for you. And then the upsell was where you hide it. I have my block down on my waist and this little wire, and I'm professional now. See it? Hear how crystal clear we sound? Professional.
Now, the nice thing about it is, well, you can hear us from across the room, so that's nice. It's wireless up to about 250 feet, something like that. And it also has a monitor built into it, so you can plug it into your cell phone, or you could actually, it fits a bunch of different mounts for digital cameras as well. So if you want to use it for that, you can. And you can use it just as this piece here, clipped to whatever. It also has a magnet on the back, so if you wanted to place it up somewhere that was magnetized, you could place it up there. And then it also has a little jack, like a 2.3 millimeter jack or something like that, to plug in a small extendable microphone, so that way you can conceal a little bit better, and you have the ability to kind of adjust where it's at if you're trying to get the sound just right. So with all that said and done, it does sound in stereo if you want to use the two microphones in unison as stereo. But currently, since we're both talking, we've got them set up as two separate channels as mono. So
I'm so glad I have him. I didn't know any of that. All I knew, you clip it on, you talk, it works. So thanks for figuring out all those intricate details.
Yeah, and it comes in a nice, handy-dandy little carrying case that also charges them. And they work up for like 14 hours, I think, on one charge. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
We didn't go for the DJI Mic 2, which I think has a few more features.
If they don't call it Digi, they should.
I don't know, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong.
Digi has a nice ring to it. DJI.
Didgeridoo. But other than that, yeah, so we got the new microphone, and it's kind of fun to play with the new tech, right?
I know. It was so funny because we've been just going through the electronic stores for fun and for the massage chairs section, because they have like a ton of massage chairs that you can just sit in and enjoy. And so it occurred to me though, like, holy crap, we could actually make a purchase of something that we need, because Dad has commented several times now that our audio is not very good. So hopefully this solves that challenge.
I'm hoping so.
I hope so too. But
if not, we'll just scream in the videos from now on. We'll just be like, we'll get really loud.
So after that is when we made our way to go check into the new hotel.
Speaking of screaming.
Oh. Is this where I guess what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Is it that we couldn't be loud at all?
Exactly.
So to explain why we're so far behind on recording videos, we had hung out at what was it called?
Bar Hermit.
Bar Hermit till midnight. So we slept in and checked out to relocate to the capsule hotel. Capsule-ish. And when we checked into the capsule hotel, we're thinking, well, we'll just catch up on the recording once we get there. But once we got there, they had some very specific rules, including you could not eat or drink or talk on your phone in your room, which you had to use their lobby, which was not even their lobby. What do you call it? More like their lounge.
Yeah, our common area.
Yeah, because there was a community lounge area, a community kitchen, community showers, but individual rooms that were small. But honestly, for a capsule room, it was still quite large. And what do you think of our, what was it called? Our Cox hostel, Cox Akihabara hostel.
Well, it was very hostel-like.
It
right?
was.
Which was kind of nice. I mean,
I think this is our first hostel together.
Yeah, I think it was. But so it's very communal, right? And I think that's kind of the idea behind what they were going for when they kind of created the Cox Hotel hostel, right?
Yeah.
Was to have something in the community, of community, for community, and giving back to the community.
Yeah.
And so, so that part, I think they've hit it right on the head.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very clean.
Yeah, it was well kept. Everybody was very kind. But yeah, it's more of a hostel. You're kind of hanging out in a place with a bunch of other people that are hanging out. So.
And I think, too, the idea behind the capsule hotels is that it's intended to be just somewhere you sleep And so you have to be very quiet.
Right, because other people are sleeping on different schedules than you are.
Yeah.
And they're not built the same standard, I'd say.
At least this one wasn't.
Right. The capsule, different, hostel. It's more of a hostel versus an actual hotel.
Yeah.
So, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I think it's, how would I put it? I think the capsule part was just an extra kind. Yeah, it was just extra, right?
It was kind of unnecessary. Like,
exactly.
I think it was kind of a marketing thing.
Exactly. It was just extra to be able to market to the capsule seeking crowd, right?
Because I really did want to try a capsule hotel, but they all seemed to be single pods.
Right.
And the floors in the capsule hotel are separated by gender. And we wanted to be together. And I was trying to find a pod big enough for the two of us to be in the same pod. And this just seemed like the compromise. But it really did seem more like they just, like you had a room and then they built two capsules almost like out of plywood.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it was kind of like, what was the point? Why not just leave it an open room since you're in a room already?
But it was kind of fun sleeping in a little pod.
It was fun. The drawbacks are...
It's like having bunk beds, really.
It is. It was like having enclosed bunk beds.
Yeah.
The drawback is having an enclosed
There's no airflow.
There's no airflow.
So,
airflow. And I think some of the actual capsule hotels have airflow in the capsule.
Right.
Where this one didn't. And I don't know if this capsule was actually designed for two people, but we fit two in there.
That's true.
Even though we had two capsules in the room, we just slept in the same one.
Yeah, and so...
Because we're snugglers.
Additionally, I want to say traditional, but the concept of the capsules or the pods, most of them are kind of all inclusive. Like they either are very fancy or very basic. But some of the more fancier ones, they have a built-in projector.
Yeah, to where when you close your
screen, you can watch your YouTube or your Netflix on there with your earbuds, stuff like that. But yeah, they're pretty strict about, they don't want you drinking and eating in your pod. And
ours was not fancy. It had a pull down screen, but the moment we pulled the screen down, we realized that the air conditioning unit, which was outside of our pod, it was in the room.
It wasn't going to blow in there.
But it was like, if we closed the thing, it was like, no, leave that open so at least we get some air in here.
And then what else? The bathrooms were nice and the showers were nice.
It was so nice. So yeah, we went in the co-ed ones, but really all that meant was that you enter in the bathroom and there was a community sinks where you can all brush your teeth together. But if you wanted to go to the bathroom or the showers, those had their own door. So it was fine, absolutely fine. And they were very, very clean.
Own door, it's all lockable. It's
amazing
all
hot water and hot water pressure. Like I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but was very pleased with the amenities there.
Yeah, it was good.
The only drawbacks I would truly say was that you could hear every sound. Every street sound you could hear anytime anybody walked down the hallway. There was somebody whose room had an issue with their lock and it was like beeping. So I did not sleep. And I can usually sleep anywhere. But between being hot and just hearing all the sounds, I did not sleep well last night. You seem to sleep great.
I slept just fine. Another funny thing was last night was another late night. I guess we've just kind of blown past the. It was after midnight.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot.
Right at midnight. Yeah.
We left out like the biggest thing we did. I jumped straight to the capsule hotel and started talking about sleep. But once we checked into the capsule hotel and dropped our bags, we had tickets to Team Lab Planets.
Oh yes.
Yes. So Team Lab Planets is on Tokyo Bay, and we were going to take the subway there.
Yeah.
But the subway didn't go all the way there. It was our first time where the Google directions are like, take the subway to this station and then you get on a bus. And we haven't done buses yet. And not that we're opposed to buses, but when the bus pulled up, there was no more room on the bus. Like, the bus was full.
It was definitely that time of
full.
day. It was that time of day.
And we got to looking, and he's like, it's only 3 kilometers away. So we walked. And that walk was truly the best part of the entire day.
It was great.
Like,
yeah.
As crazy as it is, I enjoyed the walk probably more than Team Lab Planets. Team Lab Planets was fun to do, but in hindsight, I think I enjoyed the walk.
Right.
To get there.
Oh, yeah. No,
because it was so breathtaking. We crossed 3 bridges.
3 bridges.
It was just amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, it was great, right?
Yeah.
So it was a great walk, good temperature.
Oh, the weather here has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is, like, when we were walking across the bridge and you look out to the right and you could see, what was the one that looks like the Eiffel Tower? Tokyo Tower? Tokyo Tower. Tokyo Tower was all lit up. Yeah. And then when you kept walking and then you looked to the left, you could then see...
Was it Skytree?
Skytree. Yes, and it was all lit up. And it was just beautiful. And just to see all the lights along the river and yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
it was a lovely walk.
With the lights reflecting off the water and the skyline all lit up. It was it was nice. Plus, it was good to walk, right?
Yeah. Oh, it felt really good to walk. And by the end of the night, Nick broke his personal record on his Garmin for the amount of steps taken.
That's right.
So by the time we went to bed, you had crossed the threshold with, was it 30,700 something?
That was the
steps?
record.
That was your previous record?
Yeah.
So you got 30,800 and something
900
steps? 900?
Yeah.
So new personal best on the step record.
Yeah, we ended up...
It was funny. After Team Labs, we were walking into the hostel, and he was like 200 steps away from hitting your record. And we're like, we can't go in yet. And we went around the block and went to the 7-Eleven.
I think we...
Or was it a Family Mart?
I think it was Family Mart.
Okay.
But we did go to 7-Eleven last night.
We did. Okay, yes. So let us back up on our way to Team Lab Planets. And our tickets are for entry between 7 and 7:30 p.m. And we hadn't had any dinner yet. Like, we had eaten, I don't even remember what we did for lunch.
I don't remember either. I don't think we had lunch.
Yeah, because we had done the coffee shop, the electronics.
Did we get hungry and stop at a 7-Eleven?
We have done so many 7-Elevens.
I can't help it. It's those...
It's so good and so easy and so cheap.
Yes.
But no, that's right. We did do that. We had stopped and got egg salad sandwich, and then I got the little rice thingy, and we got the sour cream and onion sticks.
That's right. Oh my gosh, we've had so much 7-Eleven.
Easily we've had it at least once a day, sometimes twice, and maybe even 3 times. It's so convenient and delicious and easy.
It's the best store ever.
It is the best store. Oh, and so we're walking to get to Team Lab Planets. We haven't had dinner yet, and we passed the 7-Eleven, and we're thinking about, like, hey, should we grab something just in case we don't eat before we get there? But we're like, no, we should get there in time to be able to find something to eat. So we passed up that 7-Eleven, and we got to Team Lab Planets and could see the building and where to enter, and we had 1 hour, more like 45 minutes till it was time for our
it was like 45
entry.
Minutes till our ticketing started. But we're like, let's keep walking.
Yeah, because right around where it's located, there weren't any restaurants. There's usually restaurants everywhere.
Honestly, I think it looked closer than what it was, but it was actually about a mile.
Yeah, so we passed it up to be like, let's go find a restaurant. And we had to walk quite a ways. And then it was like crunch time, like, hey, we got to do this
So we found
quick.
a restaurant and we get in.
So what's funny, though, Nick is so picky about where we eat. He truly is. Like, we'll be hungry, and he'll, like, say no to probably 10 places before one resonates with him. Well, on this one, we were in a time crunch, and it was like, we went down an alley, and it was like the third one. It was like, let's do it. It because we looked at their menu and they're like, they had fried food on the menu. And he's like, yep, I'm good with that. So we went up there and he placed the order, like quick picked 3 things.
Yeah.
And he did so well at choosing what to get.
Right. I think we had, what is it, pork dumpling, fried pork
like
dumplings.
pot stickers,
pot
right?
stickers, and then chicken wings and
A calamari. Squid. It was like fried squid
More
tentacles.
squid. I think we've had a lot of squid.
So it was 3 fried dishes. And then that's where I had the plum wine on the rocks with soda.
Yeah, it was like sparkling soda.
Because this particular restaurant, the lady did not speak any English at all. So we were really just pointing things on the menu. And anytime you order a drink, there's like a whole category where you have to choose whether you want it hot or with hot water, on the rocks, or with club soda. And I was trying to just say on the rocks, but it came out as with club soda and the plum wine. It was delicious.
On the rocks.
On the rocks. Yeah, it was on the rocks mixed with club soda, and it tasted divine. So divine, I had to just pace myself because I mean, it tasted like you could get yourself in trouble with those drinks. Like it went down so good. And you had a cold beer.
Yep, a nice cold beer.
And we devoured that food so fast.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had to run back to Team Planet.
And it was like a mile run.
Yeah. But it's funny because the locals run all the time, like in their business clothes. Like they are like trying to catch trains and are being prompt. And so it is not unusual at all to see someone full decked out in heels even running to go wherever they're going. And so the fact that we were now running to get to Team Lab Planets, it wasn't weird. It didn't feel weird.
No, I didn't feel weird about it.
Yeah. So we got there. So tell them about Team Lab Planets.
Oh, man. Well, you don't know what to expect, and so you get in and...
Because it's like an interactive art museum?
Yeah, it says interactive art, immersive art experience.
Yeah, with all 5 senses.
Yeah, with all 5 senses.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, cool. And it looks cool. It's got a nice artsy light-up display out front, and there's a long line, so obviously... But the thing is, again...
I'm going to pause a moment.
All right, pause.
We're pausing because I have a feeling we're getting ready to enter into our critical territory. So what I want to do is first start with the good. Let's start with the really good stuff.
Let's end with the good stuff.
You want to end with the good stuff?
Yeah, I'll start with what I thought, like the way it started. It's going to be chronological.
Okay. Just know there's really good stuff and there's some questionable stuff.
Right.
So, take it away.
Hang on, I need to give you some water real quick.
Okay.
Keep talking.
So, we had read several reviews, and like the reviews were coming back as like, this is the most amazing art museum I've ever been to. I'm forever changed from having been to this museum. And then I always like to read the really negative reviews also.
There's some funny ones.
There were some really funny negative reviews, which weren't wrong. They were
on spot.
They were right.
Spot on.
So.
All right. So anyway, spot on. Let's talk about that. You get in, and you're with a bunch of other people who probably walked or had been.
Yeah, it's a big long line.
Yeah, walk around the city all day long. So, and we did ours at night. So yeah, all day long they've been walking around, or maybe they just flew in from wherever they came from. So they all have stinky feet for sure.
The feet part.
So the deal is that part of the exhibit you do basically barefoot. Everybody's barefoot, and some of you
together.
And you have to hike your pants up if you have pants on because it's about your knees because there's water apparently. It's an interactive, immersive experience.
Yeah.
But the one thing you do notice your stinky feet.
Like the moment you walk in, you're going into a locker room where you secure your socks and your shoes.
Yeah.
And it does have a scent of feet.
Yeah, it's the ode to feet.
And everybody's walking around barefoot all together.
Yeah. Now the funny part was It made me laugh because, Dory's like, oh, use the bathroom before we go in. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go do that. And I started walking to the bathroom and like, I'm not going to the bathroom barefoot like that, But as you get to the door, you realize they've got slippers. I'm like, oh, right. And so...
But everybody wears the same slippers.
Everybody's wearing the same slippers as they, go to the bathroom and come back.
And their bare feet.
And their bare feet that haven't been washed and all that stuff. But anyway, it's just kind of funny.
So you got to just kind of let go of that fact.
Yeah.
You just got to let that go. Maybe that's part of the experience.
As your feet are sticking to the floor as you're walking.
Yeah, because the floor,
The floor is all sticky.
And
I think it's more your feet. I don't know if it's your feet or the floor.
I'm thinking maybe it's the clean. In my brain, it's sticky because of how clean they get it.
And your feet are still sweaty, right? That's what it is.
But once you've secured your socks and your shoes,
right.
Then you go through a foot cleaning bath.
But that after you've
stepped all over that,
everything, go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you walk up a steep incline.
Right. Again, let's go back just a few more.
Oh, of course.
Again, though, very few people that are there are from Japan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there were lots of foreigners from, lots of foreign language.
Yes.
So not Americans, lots of foreign language. But yeah, you're right. There weren't many Japanese.
So anyway, it's a touristy thing.
It is.
But anyway, so you go in, and then there's this long, arduous climb up, 3 ramps of bleach water.
Yeah, you're walking up a bleach water river.
And it made me laugh because I was thinking, how fun would it be just to fall down that and take everybody out?
Yeah, because you would slide. It was quite the incline.
It'd have been fun.
But yeah.
But anyway,
you get your feet clean through the waterfall of bleach. And the first exhibit you come into is...
Well, you walk into this...
Everything's black.
You're walking down these hallways that are all
with just little lights.
Black and this soft carpet, right?
And the walls are soft,
And the
felt.
walls are soft. So I'm just thinking, this place is just a germ factory, right?
All fabric-y.
Fabric-y, and people rubbing their hands and stinky feet everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. Everybody, if you wanted to breed germs, this is where you would do it, right?
Oh.
Anyway, so you go through this darkness. I'm not sure. I think they're priming your retinas, right, for the...
Oh, that is true.
The light.
Exhibits.
For the exhibits. But I don't know. It's like a fun house.
Yeah, the first exhibit was like a fun house.
But you step, you go through the ramp, and then they're like, all right, watch your step now. It's, it said something like, it's like... Unstable. Unstable. And so you step into this big giant room. And it's got fabric boobs hanging off the wall.
They're just bulbous, curved stuffing of the floor and the walls. But it truly was. It's like when you go up to the walls, it's as if you're just in between cleavage, big, bulbous, soft, and everything. The ground is all just big, bulbous. Yeah.
It's like they put foam and they covered it with a sheet, and they're walking around in
and
it.
everybody is walking, and you're
and we're all trying to think what the hell is this? I mean, you're just probably...
It's like a fun house.
You're what are we doing here?
Called art.
Right? And they're like, this was not art. This was foam on the floor covered with the black sheet in a dark room with a bunch of other people. I'm not sure how that's art.
But after that exhibit, the next one was really cool.
So then you climb out of this pit of, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be.
But the next exhibit was this giant room full of dangling lights that all...
Not dangling. I wouldn't say dangling, right? Because they're too uniform to be called dangling.
They were suspended from the ceiling, and they were rectangle lights that went all the way to the ground.
Except for where you were walking.
Yeah, except they left a little hallway, and they're light up and they'd have like rhythmic light patterns of all different colors. And
right,
so,
and sound. There was like music,
yeah,
soft
throughout
music
the
playing.
whole thing, there's different music playing. And so that light, string light room was really cool.
Oh, it was trippy.
It was, it was just really neat. And there were different hallway
paths. It was like you're
paths.
in this, like, I don't know, ice world.
Of color.
Extra dimensional. I'm trying to think. Like
it was cool.
Maybe, if you watched Interstellar and when they get sucked into the book, the black hole, and he's behind the bookcase, and it's all like different dimensional and lines and very vertical and lining up, and he's going through it. That's kind of like what you would. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
So, if you're sensitive to that, you have a seizure disorder.
Don't go.
Probably not for
it's
you.
Definitely.
It'll mess you up.
But the next room.
That's
where we went into the milky water.
Yeah, so you step down this ramp into this milky water.
Water.
Yeah, it's milky water.
And then you're in a whole room where it's hard. The rooms are all surrounded by mirrors, so it's hard to tell how large the room is. But you're in milky, warm water, and then there's light projected down, and it makes it look like there's colorful fish swimming everywhere. And so that was really something.
Imagine remember when...
Like, that was really cool.
When iPhone came out with the Koi Pond app.
I don't think I know about that.
Well, back early on in iPhone, when they had the Koi Pond app, and you could like tap the water, and the fish would chase your finger around.
But yeah, it was just
kind of like that, because
everywhere.
you have like koi. It's like basically a koi pond, and the milky water is to reflect the projectors right. So as it goes into the water, it gives it a 3-dimensional perspective. So
and there were kids there trying to catch the fish.
So neat.
Yeah.
But then just imagine yourself in a room full of 200 people wading around in milky water.
Yeah. You just had to quit thinking about that part.
Milky water up to your knees with a bunch of people who knows?
Yeah.
While you play with imaginary fish.
It's so funny. We're like talking about other people being dirty, yet we, at 7 p.m. we're getting 30,000 steps, and we just ran from a restaurant,
It's not about other people being dirty. It's just the fact that I know, like.
Hopefully the bleach bath cleaned us all up.
I think that's really what it was. There's the bleach.
But yes, and so there were several more exhibits. There was one where you, after that exhibit you dried off, and that was the last of the water. But there's one where it's almost like you're laying on your back as if in a planetarium, but instead of it being the solar system, it was like flowers. Sometimes the flowers were going away from you, and sometimes they were falling down toward you, but it was like you were just surrounded by flower petals and leaves.
And they were changing from like, like maybe yellow and purple wildflowers to roses to, I don't know, something else.
Yeah, and a couple other exhibits. Once we finished with the water side, they had the garden side. And there was a strange one where it was like all these alien eggs that lit up.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny.
That was because everything had been very interactive where you could touch everything. But when you went into the egg room...
just like, people were just like, it was just weird.
I know, but people would like shake, like, what are we supposed to do with these? But I guess you were just supposed to look at them.
Yeah, so again... Now, again, sometimes things are lost in translation, so...
Because they kept talking about don't touch the moss.
Yeah, I saw something that said don't touch the moss. I don't know, but I'm like, whatever.
And they gave us all slippers
But they gave us all slippers for the room, so I'm thinking since we're now barefoot, we have slippers, they must give us the slippers so that we're not touching the moss with our bare feet, right? I don't know.
But no, you couldn't walk amongst the moss.
So...
I don't even know why they gave us slippers.
Yeah,
we walked barefoot everywhere, but no, in this room.
I totally wish I would have walked in the moss. Because I was thinking, like, literally, we were going to go play around with these alien eggs. And it was just awkward because nobody knew what the hell to do with them. I'm thinking, well, first of all, they're not like people are like shaking the eggs and touching them and knocking them over. I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to. I'm sure there's no interaction here. You're supposed to look and observe.
Yeah.
You could like it just. It was.
But it is
was
funny.
very
People were
apparent.
shaking the egg, and then they got on to me for sitting.
Oh yeah.
Like I sat down next to an egg for a photograph. They're like, "Oh no, you can't sit there."
Yeah, she was right there on the edge of the moss, and they're like,
I'm
"Please
sorry.
get off the wall" or something like that.
And then the final exhibit was the floating plants, the air plants. And
Oh,
it was the
yeah.
one where you become like one with the flower. And so they had these air plants that were all suspended on a like a fishing line, I guess.
Yeah, like fishing line.
But it was like a whole room full of them,
It
and
was
they
just
would.
strange. Okay, so.
It was, but they elevated the plants, and then you got under them, and you could lay down or
Well-
sit up, and then they lowered the plants back down, but you could not touch
you
them.
weren't supposed to touch
But
them.
you're supposed to just look at them, and then like the line between human and plant melds together or something.
Is
They
that
had
what it
some,
was?
yeah, they had a description about the purpose of this exhibit.
Man, well. Oh, we forgot one.
Oh, what?
The ballroom.
Oh yeah, the ballroom. I forgot about that one too. Yeah.
Ballroom.
And that was where there were these giant,
Balls.
like beach balls, but huge.
Yeah, and they had lights or lights in them.
And they all turned colors.
Yeah.
Mostly turning like they'd all become pink or blue or green.
and
And that was fun. We stayed in that room a
Yeah.
while and just like we're taking tons of pictures.
right. So here's what I will say. This is my takeaway. I don't know how much of it is art. Like I guess if you really put your art is in the eye of the beholder, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
So it could be whatever you want to call it. However, if you want a cool place to take pictures with your friends or
yeah.
your
There
wife
was a lot
or-
of really great
or
picture
whoever,
opportunities.
you know, that's probably one of the coolest places to do it because you have all these different opportunities and different lighting and different backdrops and so that part was fun, and so we took advantage of that, got a bunch of pictures.
We were just being goofy and having a good time.
Being goofy, having a good time. And so yeah, it was but it was definitely not life altering.
I don't feel like I'm forever changed because I've been there.
I will say, what would I say? I don't know what I would say.
I think I was more forever changed by the walk to get there. In
Oh, the
hindsight,
walk
like
was
the
great,
walk
yeah.
to get there was amazing. And it was super fun. Like I'm glad we went. And we also have tickets to go to Team Lab Borderless at the end of our trip, which is supposed to be similar but different. So I'm glad we went.
Now this was Team Lab Planet,
Planets.
right? I was really hoping there was a little bit more. And I think that, I mean, it was all right. I don't know if I would do it again.
I wouldn't do it again.
I think it's easily recreatable. If you've been to any of like the Living Van Gogh exhibits, stuff like that, it's very similar where it's all projector driven, visual, music, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's just a play on that type of thing that they've been doing here recently, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it was worth going
and they
to.
can do a lot more with it, but I think it's like modern day Funhouse, right? I think that's how I would describe it. Modern day Funhouse.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good.
But it was fun.
Together for 2 tickets, it was like $56.
Right.
It took us maybe 2 hours to go, and we lingered longer than most. I think you can get through it in an hour, but we were just having fun with the exhibits.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then after that, we departed, walked our way back, got the shuttle, or walked our way to the subway, got back to the hostel. That's when we realized he was so close to breaking your record. So we walked to Family Mart, got
That's
a beer
right, got a
and
beer.
some champagne, and
Yep.
then hung out in the
Common area.
lounge area
Lounge
of the
area.
hostel.
Yeah.
And
Now there was one funny part that I really I liked, or I thought was funny. I don't know, but it was it was time for them. They were kind of locking up and closing up, and so
at the hostel. Okay,
if you hadn't checked in, you were pretty much SOL, right? So, and there was a few people from America.
Yeah, there were English speakers.
Yeah, they were sitting there hanging
lounge.
out, and but the host had come through and was like, "Hey," they're like, "Please pull the window blinds down." So we're pulling the window blinds down, and then they're like, "Later on, people are going to be coming by and knocking on the windows."
They didn't say it quite like
That's
that.
exactly how they said it.
No.
And they said, "Don't let them in."
I heard.
No, this is what I heard. There's like, later on, people are be coming by. They're going to knock on the windows, but don't let them in.
I heard, if anybody comes knocking on the window, don't let them in. Like, they were emphatic, like, don't let them in. But it was kind of weird because, first off, every street we've been down is like the cleanest street. There's no homeless people here. It is like the safest I've ever felt in any city. And so the fact that the hostel owner or worker is telling us, don't let them in here.